It's just amazing how getting 4 impacted wisdom teeth blown out of your gums can inspire you to do a story on teeth.
Poor guy.
I feel like a large 160-pound chipmunk. For hundreds of years, after you got a tooth pulled, you put it under your pillow when you went to sleep, and during the night, the tooth fairy would come and exchange the tooth for money. When I was little, it was a nickel, but I guess inflation has set in because it's reported that in some areas, the price of a tooth is up to $50. The question comes to mind, just who is this tooth fairy? And where does he or she get the money? And what does she do with the teeth? Well, I placed a call to Macon to the state convention of the Georgia Dental Association, and none of the 550 dentists present knew where the legend of the tooth fairy began. Well, being a true investigative reporter, I next called the American Dental Association in Chicago and placed the question to them. They checked their extensive dental library and late this afternoon sent me this telegram. Many dental historians have tried to trace the origin of the tooth fairy, but none have ever succeeded. In the 22,000-volume library of the American Dental Association, there is not a single printed record of the origin of the tooth fairy, or even a hint as to the area of the world in which the well-known fairy originated. This might lead officials of the ADA to doubt whether the existence of the tooth fairy is real, if it were not for the fact that somebody has to be leaving all those coins under the pillows. Well, that's all well and good, but there is still one authority yet to be checked to make sure the fairy is legit: the Internal Revenue Service.
Why, of course, the tooth fairy files a tax return, as all good, honest citizens do.
Are teeth taxable?
Well, no.
Has the Internal Revenue Service ever had any information about exactly where the tooth fairy gets the money?
I'm sure that, as you very well know, all income tax returns are subject to very close disclosure proceedings, disclosure laws, and therefore we do not disclose information on tax returns.
I mean, a tooth, and I would get a dime for a tooth.
Yeah?
And I would imagine today 4 wisdom teeth should be worth about, what, $10? Probably.
I don't know. They cost me $27.50 a piece. But it's nice to know that there are good sports in the world, like John Henderson and the folks of the ADA and the Georgia Dental Association.
You mean they were kidding?
No, they were legit, but you know, you have to drag these people out and say, hey, and all your IRS stuff, tell me about the tooth fairy.